My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for joining. Okay, so a lot has happened today, and a lot hasn't happened, okay? At least not yet, but a lot has happened too. So I want to talk about a few things that are going on, okay? The liberals will have one thing that they're going to try to grab onto and make a big deal about, and it's really a big nothing. President Trump withdrew his nomination for Surgeon General to the Fox News doctor. She had been a little bit dishonest about where she got her medical degree. She went to one of those Caribbean medical schools in St. Martin and said she got her medical degree from, was it in Arkansas, where she did her residency? But so, she had a little discrepancy there on her resume. That's it, she's out. So President Trump picked somebody new to be the Attorney General, Dr. Casey Means, a woman, and he said all kinds of good things about her, and she has impeccable MAHA credentials, which means Make America Healthy Again. So the liberals will try to jump on and make some scandal where there's nothing out of that. I mean, whoever Trump picks for Surgeon General is fine. You always got to trust in Trump, right? But no big issue there. But the other thing is, how many of you, let me know, if you're watching live in the live chat, if you're not watching live, let me know in the comments, how many of you have been waiting all day for James O'Keefe to make his big drop? Now, before we get into this, let me see if he's done it since I started this stream, because we do have a little information on that. And I've kind of been hoping that James O'Keefe would have dropped this, but not yet. Hold on. No. In fact, a lot of people are posting on X that they're sitting around waiting all day. And what happened with James O'Keefe and his release, I don't know. I'm sure it will be out, but it's after 5 o'clock here on the East Coast. And usually he makes his drops when he drops something new. He usually makes them around 11 or 12. So something has delayed it. What delayed it? Who knows? It has definitely been delayed, though. However, Alex Jones, which I'll go through in just a minute. Okay, let me check James O'Keefe. By the way, James O'Keefe follows me on X, which is really cool. Nope, he's not dropped it yet. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. However, Alex Jones, a few hours ago, came out and said what his sources are telling him James O'Keefe is going to drop, and I'm going to share that with you now. Now, I saw this a few hours ago from Alex Jones, but I wanted to wait to see if James O'Keefe dropped his story, which he's not done as of yet. So this is what I'm going to just read the transcript of this to you. This is what Alex Jones says. Alex Jones says that James O'Keefe is preparing to expose a Trump administration official accused of helping cover up for Jeffrey Epstein. According to Alex Jones, he believes the person is Attorney General Pam Bondi. He claims the White House is fully aware of the official's identity. Alex Jones said that James O'Keefe's upcoming reports will connect the dots to reveal a much larger story. So my guess would be that Alex Jones's source is probably James O'Keefe, because who else would have all the information, right? He's got a small unit, a small team now, James O'Keefe. So if James O'Keefe is his source, here's the thing with Epstein. A few things about Epstein, okay? And I did see Pam Bondi's press conference today with Kash Patel about the arrest of all these sicko pervs that they arrested. And a lot of people said that she looked nervous. I don't know. Did she look nervous to you? I didn't think about it at the time, but a lot of people said she looked nervous. I don't know. For Alex Jones to go public like this, he would have to have talked to James O'Keefe. You know, Epstein was here in Florida, and before he was nationally and worldwide famous, his weirdness was in the local news here in South Florida and throughout the state of Florida for a long time. And that was in the time when she was, in office and doing different things. I would be very disappointed if there was a cover-up involving her. I wouldn't even think it was a possibility if Alex Jones hadn't said that. So I don't know. Do you think what Alex Jones is saying is true? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Trump can run in 2028. The Constitution can be amended. It's been amended many, many times. I would hope not, because I like Pam Bondi. Trump likes Pam Bondi. The thing about the problem Pam Bondi's running into is that MAGA world, that's you and me, the masses of MAGA throughout the country, we want some of the high-profile arrest of these lawfare people, and I know we're going to get it. I don't worry about that. I think that will come eventually, but people are getting impatient, and people are blaming Pam Bondi. So Pam Bondi, she's going to become, the choice person for people to criticize in MAGA world right now, because people are so impatient and disappointed and want some of these lawfare criminals arrested and perp walked. I know I do. And every time that they announce that Pam Bondi has a press conference, I'm hoping that it is, Letitia James is arrested, Fannie Willis is indicted, something like that. But that's not exactly what we're getting, right? I mean, the things that she's doing are good. These arrests she talked about today, the fentanyl thing yesterday, that's all good stuff, but that's not what we want to hear right now, right? And every time she does a press conference, no matter how good these arrests are, like this mass arrest that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi did, that they announced today, if the Democrats were in charge, that wouldn't have happened, right? I mean, they basically arrested the Democrats' constituency, So I'm not saying that what she's doing is not good, but every time she does a press conference and announces an arrest or a seizure or a bust, and it doesn't involve the lawfare people, MAGA world gets ticked off, and I can sense it. I got calls on the air today about it. All right, now if you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. That's right. Well, thank you, Howard. I appreciate that. MAGA forever. That's right. But I hope what Alex Jones is saying is not true. Really, I hope it's not true. Well, thank you, Heather, for subscribing. Yes, I have a job. Do you? Yeah, Laura Loomer does not like Pam Bondi, and I'm going to tell you, Laura Loomer's always right. I have never known Laura Loomer to report something that was not true. Okay, so Laura Loomer has a 100% accuracy rate with her reporting. So anything that Laura Loomer says, you can take to the bank. Never question Loomer. Nope. In fact, out of all of the journalists in the country, I don't think anyone has a record of accuracy even close to her. In fact, Loomer, she posted a picture of Pam Bondi on television this morning, and she wrote, "Who is sick of seeing Pam Bondi on Fox News every day?" Yeah, I know. A lot of people are. Yeah, a lot of people are. Let me see what else Loomer has here. Loomer, this is what Loomer tweeted just 22 minutes ago, okay? This is Laura Loomer. It's on X just 22 minutes ago. Pam Bondi lied about the Epstein files. In a recent clip from Benny Johnson's show, James Comer admits we still haven't seen the Epstein files. 100 plus days into Trump's return, he said we will probably never see them. Comer said the Epstein files may have been destroyed. Pam said they were on her desk, then in a truck, then blamed the deep state. Now, no deadline. She's full of it. Something tells me she's about to be exposed in a major way. So that is another reference to James O'Keefe. Okay? Now, I have been saying for a long time, my belief is what Comer says. You know, when I don't think we're ever going to see anything significant from Epstein files, okay? I just don't think we will. When they confiscated all of Epstein's stuff, like today, Pam Bondi said there's all these tapes, but they're all Epstein, right? They're not the famous people or politicians that we hear the names of all the time. If the government, and they probably did, if they confiscated videotapes and audio recordings that Epstein had of famous people, celebrities, politicians, and things like this, they either destroyed them or they kept them in their blackmail files of the deep state to get these politicians to go on. So whatever files and videos that Pam Bondi has access to, it's not going to be anything that's going to make anyone who's famous, a politician, a corporate leader, or any of these people, or anyone else, it's not going to expose any of them. I don't expect to ever see them, and I never have. You know, well, she is pissed off. Loomer is pissed off because of these things. Yeah, Prince Andrew. You know, yeah, I just don't think that we're ever going to see it. You know, there's no way that this freak Epstein did not have recordings, video and audio of all these famous people and everything that was going on. There's just no way. And there's no way he would have destroyed those because, you know, that was his thing. You know. But the deep state, they go in there, they raid Epstein's properties and they find all these things. What are they gonna do? They've got videotapes of powerful people and politicians. What do? Do they file them and enter them into evidence at the Justice Department? I don't think so. They put them in their deep state blackmail files, the J. Edgar Hoover files, or they destroy them. So I don't know, would you guys agree with that, yes or no? Or would you expect to, do you think we'll see something? I don't think we'll ever see anything significant. Ever. I just don't expect it. I'd like to, and I think we should, but I don't think we'll ever see anything significant. There'll be things, you know, like the Kennedy stuff, right? There'll be things that drop here and there, but there's never going to be anything of any of the people you want exposed. It's just for the reasons I said. It's just not going to happen. Well, if they amend the Constitution and allow President Trump to run for a third term, Obama could run against him, absolutely. Obama would lose big time. You know, that'd be fine. Bill Clinton could run again. I know, it's sad, you know, but, you know, the way Pam Bondi handled the whole Epstein file thing was, you know, big mistake. You know, when she brought those influencers and gave them those binders to this, it was not handled well by her. I am not a conspiracy theorist. But by the way, just because something's a conspiracy doesn't mean it's not true. Right? Yeah, Hillary can lose again. She can run and lose again. Hillary's got no juice. Nobody likes her. I support Trump for so many reasons. If you sub to my channel and watch my show, you'll learn every day. Not only why I support Trump, but why you should as well. Yeah, George Washington could come back and run again. Absolutely. President Trump is about to pass the largest tax cut bill in history. And, the Trump tax cuts are about to expire. So the big, beautiful bill is going to have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and it's either going to extend or make permanent the Trump tax cuts. If that bill is not passed, our taxes are going to go up 68%. So that's one reason I support Trump. He allows us to keep more of the money we make and not have the government take it from us. Tommy says the U.S. dollar is losing value. You want the dollar to lose value, okay? You want the dollar to lose value. Right now you do, and Trump does too. And the reason you want the dollar to lose value, Trump is bringing in trillions of dollars in foreign investments, right? These companies and business people in Europe, in Asia, all over the world are coming into America. If the dollar is a little lower, their money goes farther. So they're coming over here with their money, right, to buy property and build a factory or build a plant or build an office. You want the dollar lower so the foreign people, he's trying to bring all the manufacturing back, right? So when they bring the manufacturing back from these foreign places, their money goes further to build the new factories and everything they need here. So no, you want the dollar right now lower. I've heard Trump talk about this in his first term, and he talked about this when he was running the first time, about how stupid politicians in Washington are always trying to get the dollar higher valued, and he says that discourages foreign investment. And he's a top economist, Donald Trump. He knows exactly what he's talking about. No, Kyle, that is the reality. You just don't understand how economics works. But, if you had an understanding of how things worked, you would be MAGA. You'd be on Trump's side. You wouldn't be a never Trumper, right? But one day, maybe you'll grow up and learn how the world really works. Give up the Twitch streaming, give up the gaming, and understand how things really work. No, we're not a cult. We're the majority of the American voters. The tiny cult in America are the never Trumpers. The MAGA people, we are the majority by far. Our president just won a national election and won all the battleground states. Of course, Trump 2028, absolutely. I wouldn't mind having one that said Trump 2032. Exactly. Trump's not dropping the ball at all. Anyone who says that they're MAGA and they're no longer supporting Trump, they're fake MAGA. Real MAGA people have been with Trump, they're with him now, and they haven't left him. And the latest polls show that MAGA is still hardcore behind our president, and we always will. Oh yeah, I'd vote for Trump in 28, 32, 36. That's right, 40. All of them, I'd vote for him forever. How can you get elected a third time? The Constitution can be amended, all right? The Constitution's been amended many times for different things, right? So the Constitution could be amended to lift the restriction on 2 terms. No, not homophobic. I don't know why you would think such a thing. No. I mean, President Trump, our Treasury Secretary, is openly gay. We have the first openly gay senior cabinet official. Mayor Pete doesn't count. Transportation's low level. Openly gay Treasury Secretary. Very high position. MAGA's not homophobic. Yep, that's right. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. Yeah, Rick Grinnell, that's right. Tammy Bruce at State Department, openly gay. Trump's surrounded by more gay people than any Democrat, openly gay. Trump's no dictator. He was just elected. We have elections in this country, right? I don't know why you guys keep saying dictator. Just because you lost doesn't mean Trump's a dictator. You know, that's how liberals are, right? They think if they lose, that the country's a dictatorship. No, you just lost. No, in fact, President Trump is what his grand plan is, and this is a beautiful thing, and this is probably what he'll be doing by the end of this term, and that is eliminating all taxes on people who earn $200,000 a year, and that's single people. So married people would be under $400,000. That's about 99% of the country, right? So, and he's going to pay for everything with tariffs. So he's going to eliminate taxes for about 98 to 99% of the population. That's amazing. The only people that love taxes are people that don't pay them. Right? I didn't, when I was younger and I didn't make any money and I had nothing, I didn't care about taxes because I didn't pay them. I didn't pay taxes, I got a tax refund. Right? Even though I didn't pay taxes, I get a refund. I couldn't wait to file my tax. I'd get my tax forms from my employer by January 31st. First week in February, I was filing. I'd even pay extra so I could get the faster return sometimes. I've done that when I was young. Now, I have to send money. Actually, the tariffs are going to bring prices down because these countries around the world on their imports have such huge tariffs, 50%, 80%, 200%, and even more in some instances. So they're going to bring their tariffs down, have the reciprocal tariffs with us. It'll bring prices down. And a lot of industries and manufacturers are going to move back to the United States, and then there's no tariffs. So no, it's the tariffs are actually going to bring prices down. It's quite, this is basic economic theory. Well, it's going to take more than a couple of months, right? He's still making deals with the countries around the world. He sure is. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Yes, I did go to school. Took economics, too, in college. 150 economists. I don't know who these economists are. But I know President Trump is a top economist, and he makes sense, and he knows exactly what it is that he's doing. Guy's a billionaire. You're not as fine, and he went to the Wharton School, so he's got a top business degree from a top business school. He made himself a billionaire. He knows about how the economy works in a way that these other presidents don't. And other presidents, they're not economists like President Trump, right? So they bring in economic advisors. Their economic advisors have PhDs in economics, but they've never been in the private sector. They get their PhD at the university and they become a professor. They don't know what they're talking about. No, he borrowed $1 million from his dad, which he paid back and started doing his investing in real estate. Took $1 million and turned it into many billions. That's amazing. Borrowed $1 million from his dad and actually paid it back. Nobody pays back their parents but Donald Trump. Russia is paying me nothing. Nothing. All that the liberals have are just these labels. What President Trump is doing economically makes it's basic economics 1101, 1102 stuff. It's just very basic stuff, right? That's right. He's a businessman. He understands business. He understands money. Nita died. I've just lost 37 pounds. I'm at the maintaining phase now. No, he paid his dad back. How many of you borrowed money from your parents and paid them back, huh? Come on. when you borrow money from your parents, it's assumed it's a gift. You're never going to get it back. And any of you are parents like me, you ever give money to your kids? Do you ever expect to get it back? No. Make sure you guys subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. No, Trump's not a felon. That's the corrupt courtroom, corrupt judge, corrupt jury, corrupt prosecutor. That's in New York, just corrupt. No, he is not a convicted felon. That's a corrupt court. I do not recognize that court. Either do most Americans. I mean, President Trump was just reelected in a national election. The people that are being deported are criminals. They're in the country illegally. You know, if you're in the country illegally, you got to go. There's legal ways to enter the United States. Those Jersey Shore casinos, that whole Jersey Shore area went out of business, not just Trump. Nope. You know, I love how the liberals, okay, what President Trump is doing, everything that he's done in this second term is perfect. The latest Rasmussen poll, he has over 50% approval rating. His numbers went up 7 points in the latest Rasmussen presidential daily tracking for presidential approval. So those of you that are not on the Trump train and are not MAGA, you are in the cult. There were no children deported. That fake news story, a mother was deported, and she chose to take her children back with her to the country she left from. The father of the children was in this country legally. She could have left her children in the United States with their father or another family member, but she chose to take her children with her. She was in the country illegally. So what are we supposed to do, right? Take children away from a mother? Then you'd be attacking Trump for that. So no, those children were not deported. That is lies from the liberal media. You guys are watching too much MSNBC. Consumers pay tariffs. The countries around the world are lowering their tariffs. President Trump is, with the reciprocal tariffs, our tariffs are going to be what their tariffs are, right? So if they have a 50% tariff, we're going to have a 50% tariff. If they lower it to 3%, we're going to have a 3%. So prices will come down because the tariffs on imported goods is going to be reduced. Prices are going to come down. That's how it works. That's how it works. Now, I know you guys, think you know what you're talking about, but you don't. And what President Trump's doing is very obvious. That's how it works. Exactly. Oh, no, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Reciprocal tariffs. Makes perfect sense. Have you noticed the liberals have stopped talking about this wife-beater MS-13 terrorist in El Salvador that was involved in human trafficking? I haven't heard a liberal mention him all week. I guess they're done with him. Their way to get out of it was to just stop bringing his name up. I haven't heard a single liberal bring up that guy, Garcia, with the MS-13 tattoos on his fingers. Yep. I think we've been having a pretty in-depth conversation for the last 29 minutes about these things. He did have MS-13 tattoos. They were in code on his fingers. Abortion is a basic right, not for the child. You're taking the child's right to live away. That's why Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. Do you know how many babies have been... When was Roe v. Wade overturned now? Let's see here. Let me see. How long has it been? Okay, June 2022, so 3 years ago, right? Coming up on the third anniversary. How many children have been born in the last 3 years because Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. Oh my goodness. Think about that. You know, how many children have been born in the last 3 years? Let me see. Well, we don't know how many of them would have been aborted, but a lot. I mean, over the course of time, millions and millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of people will be born and live lives because Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. That's amazing? That's amazing. Because these children that are about to turn 3 years old that have been born because they weren't aborted because Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, they're going to grow up and have kids and grandkids, and their kids and grandkids are going to have kids. None of them would have ever been born if their mothers had abortions. That's amazing. I think out of Trump's, all of his terms, if he has 3 terms, 4 terms, 2 terms, however many terms Trump has, his greatest accomplishment will be overturning Roe v. Wade. He did not deport a 2-year-old with cancer. That's a lie. I explained that a few minutes ago. I worked when I was a child. Are you kidding me? Exactly. Most people I know worked as children. What's wrong with working as a child? You know, don't you need money to buy candy and stuff? How do you feel about a rapid descent into fascism under Trump? There's no fascism. He just won the election. We do not have dictators. No, we don't have dictators in this country, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. No dictators. You can amend the Constitution. They had to have a constitutional amendment for women to get the right to vote. Exactly. And you guys talk about dictators. How did Kamala Harris get the nomination? She didn't run in a single primary. Okay? So if she didn't run in a single primary, how did she get the nomination? And the Democrats were trying to make her president? That's a dictator. Getting the nomination without a single election? But you guys didn't seem to mind that. Mm-hmm. But you guys got to get used to it. This is a MAGA nation. This is a MAGA country. That's right. The vice president is second in line to be the president. So that tells you how little these trolls know, these liberals. They don't even know who's second in the line of succession to be the president. I mean, come on. The vice president. Mm-hmm. It's a MAGA nation. That is correct. Mm-hmm. Do you think Trump is dismantling this? He's not dismantling the State Department. Marco Rubio is doing some consolidation, but no. How are you going to make? How do you give the nomination to Kamala Harris without running in a single primary and getting 1 vote? How does that happen? I've never heard of something like that happen again. Nope. Trans people have all the same rights that everybody else has. What right do I have that a transgendered person does not have? Can you tell me that? Because somebody asked about trans rights. What right do I have that a transgendered person does not? What right? I can't join the military. I'm too old. They wouldn't take me. I'm above the cutoff age. No, I can't serve in the military. What right do I have that a transgender person does not? No, transgender people can go to the bathroom that they are connected to by their birth, just like me. No receding hairline. I don't wear hats to cover up bald spots like Tim Pool. I just like to promote the greatest president ever. Easy question, right? What right do I have that a transgendered person does not? What they're asking for are extra rights. They want to have more rights than everybody else. You know, this somebody said go into the women's room. What would happen if I went into the women's room? I'd get arrested, may get clocked in the head. I can't serve in the military. I'm too old. They won't take me. I can't serve in the military. Nope. See, you can't think of any, can you? But you know what? You probably never considered it that way before. That's exactly right. They're asking for special rights, more rights than everybody else has, more privileges than everyone else has. They're not asking for equal rights. You know, when Martin Luther King was leading his great civil rights movement, African Americans were fighting to have equal rights, sit on the bus where they want to sit, right? Go to the same school, sit at the lunch counters, use the same drinking fountain, all that stuff, use the same bathroom. They were fighting for equal rights. What you're talking about are extra rights. You can call me names, scum, and all that stuff, but I haven't seen anyone give me a right that I have that transgender people do not have. A bunch of people said, serve in the military. I am too old to serve in the military. They would not. If I went to the recruiting office, they'd laugh me out. Too old. See, they're trying to pivot to other topics now. I'm 54 years old. They don't take 54-year-olds. No. Exactly. Oh, tariffs are great. Look how they're all trying to pivot now to other topics. The Magician, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it. No, transgendered people have the same right that we all have when it comes to the public bathrooms. I have to use the men's room because I was born a man. You have to use the public bathroom of the sex in which you were born. What you're asking for is a special right. Like if I wanted to have some special right to go to the ladies' room, that's not a same right. That's a special right. That's an extra right. You're giving more rights that others don't have. Right? And I think that the liberals in the chat, I think most of you are pretty surprised that you can't think of a right that I have that they don't. I think you're in shock to realize that, wait a minute, they have all the same rights. I didn't realize that. Yep. And they were all wrong. Yep. Nope, you didn't. You didn't. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, all right, guys? This is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh, yeah, I think it would be great if we made Greenland the 51st state. That would be pretty awesome, don't you guys think? That would be incredibly awesome. Absolutely. And I expect that if they take it to a vote in Greenland, we'll win. There's only 57,000 people in Greenland, and how many of them are children, right? I don't know, but a lot of them are children. As cold as it is in Greenland, they probably spend a lot of time inside having sex and making babies. So Trump needs to get maybe 28,000 votes, 30,000 votes in favor of joining the United States in Greenland. I mean, there's more than that at every Trump rally. He has to get about half of a Trump rally, less than half of a Trump rally, in Greenland to vote in favor of joining the United States. Why would they not do it? Denmark, this is an interesting thing about Greenland's not an independent country, right? It's a territory of Denmark. All of a sudden, the liberals are colonialist. They want to have the European nation of Denmark maintain control over its colony. All of a sudden, you're colonialist. The people that live in Greenland are Inuit Indians. Those are the same Indians as our Eskimos in Alaska. They're indigenous. These are the indigenous people of Greenland. And you liberals out there don't want the indigenous Native American, well, I guess they're not Native Americans, Greenland, Native Greenland Inuit Eskimo Indians. You want the colonial powers to have control over the indigenous people? When did the liberals become colonialist? This Trump derangement has really messed up the liberals, right? They're colonialist. They're coming out against taxes with the tariffs. All of a sudden, liberals are against taxes and telling us how bad taxes are. They're trying to defend the Pope and the Catholic Church over that Trump meme. Yeah, I mean, do you guys listen to yourselves? The positions that you're taking are bizarre. Total counter to what you would normally take. Obama deported like 6 million people. No one in the left care. No, I'm a Native American. I'm not a colonialist. I'm a Native American. Matt Gaetz is awesome. He lives here in Florida like I do. Trump can run in 2028 if they amend the Constitution. On my morning live stream every morning from 6 till 9 a.m., weekday mornings, Eastern time, right here, I take live calls. So you can call me any morning and challenge me. Shawna, a member of the channel. There's all the member emojis there. Awesome. No, we don't want to colonize Greenland. We want Greenland to become a state. And, Greenland has so much wealth and so many natural resources that Denmark is stealing from them. Trump will work out a deal where they get to keep a big chunk of that money. They'll be rich. The native, indigenous Inuits of Greenland will be rich. Like the Seminole Indians here in Florida are rich. That's right. And they probably won't have to pay taxes. But right now, it's amazing to see the liberals become colonialist and supporting colonial power. Why do you want a European nation, Denmark, to have control over Greenland? That makes no sense. It cracks me up. Liberals stand for nothing, right? And the only thing they stand for right now is being against anything Trump does. Trump turns the lights on. They think the lights should be off. I mean, it's pathetic. No, I'm a Native American. I was born in the United States. That makes me a Native American. Exactly. No, you're just hearing things in a way that you've never heard them before because you've been brainwashed by liberal school teachers, liberal college professors, liberal idiots on CNN and MSNBC, and you just have never thought about these things in the way that I'm explaining them to you. But this is the way it is. Everything I said is true. Who said we wanted to buy Canada? Canada should pay us to take them. They've been ripping us off so long. That's right. Canada owes us money. Now, I'm not a big fan of Fox News. No, not at all. Well, listen, guys, thanks for watching. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. If you're new, subscribe. You'll love my channel. And like I said, weekday mornings, when I live stream, I take live calls and I give out the phone number. You can call me and challenge me on anything you hear me say, although I don't know how anyone could disagree with any of this common sense stuff I've been sharing with you on the stream today. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.